Jordan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, give me 1 second. I have to get a hair tie real quick. It's been a really
Yeah,
busy morning.
it's
I'll
all
be
good,
right
brother.
back with you in half a second.
Gotcha.
So, first of all, I do have to apologize. Um, I was not able to do the step one and step two before the meeting just because I was filling out applications all morning. I still am looking for a full-time job just because it's been a month and a half I've been unemployed, and I don't want to be the guy who sits at his parents' house, you know?
I got you, man. 100%. Don't worry about that, man. Like, that's just to kind of give you a little bit more context on like really who we are and what we're about. But we can still like get through this call. It's pretty easy, man. So all the
Okay,
questions you'll probably have, I'll be able to answer on this anyways. Is that cool?
sounds good.
Now, what were you doing previously before you became unemployed?
Um, so I've had a number of jobs. I've actually been a tumbling coach, a gymnastics coach. I worked as an intern, as an exercise physiologist. I also worked as a handyman. I did like a trash circuit it for 5 nights a week for a while. Like I was working two jobs while I was in college. So I had my full-time job as a handyman and that circuit to supplement some of the income. It was rough. Um,
Yeah.
and then this last job I did for a year, where I have my savings from, actually was I was a quality control inspector on um, electrical power plants.
Oh, cool. So what made you want to get into that, and then what made you want to leave it?
So I got into that because I was in the same situation here. I actually, out of college, I kind of started screwing up pretty bad in college. Um, and I had a really rough last semester. I actually had to fight the school to even get my degree because they had like first taken away my grant money and halved it because they were saying I wasn't enrolled in the proper classes. I had all my classes in my basket. They took them out, and I was able to prove that. I'm the first student in history to actually get the Pell Grant refunded to me at that college.
Wow. Dang.
And then in that same semester, working as a handyman, I worked so hard and was doing all that stuff to try to catch up to be able to graduate on time. So I actually cut off these two fingers with a table saw. Um,
Jeez.
and I had terrible roommates, and that's why I wasn't sleeping. Um, the rest of that story isn't like necessarily a good one because I wasn't doing the right things either. I got into drugs. I was smoking weed and then doing coke. So I was doing coke to stay up during the day to try to like get through everything. It wasn't like, oh, I'm addicted. It was more like, if I don't do this, I am not going to be awake.
Mm.
I hadn't slept in 3 months and I was starting to hallucinate.
Oh man,
Um,
it's rough.
so one day I found time to go to work and went into work, and it was after my roommate's cats had kept me up for 3 months because she wouldn't keep them in her room during the night, so they'd
Yeah.
just go crazy because they're nocturnal. And she's like, they keep me up all night otherwise. Well, they're your cats. You deal with it, type deal. But it was three against one. I was living with all women at the time, so it turned into something I couldn't control
I
or
gotcha.
couldn't even fight off, because anytime I got frustrated, they were like, "Well, we're three white ladies, and you're a 6'2" black dude. Who
Mm.
do you, who do you think is going to win this one?" Like, it kind of really sucked. but that's all in the past now. Um, but when I, but that's just the explanation of where my headset was right after I forced myself to graduate out of that situation. Um,
Right.
so it took, I was like 3 months in the hole of just not being able to move or do anything. I was really depressed. And then finally, I'm a Christian and it was a God thing. Um, so I was down to my last like $200 in my bank account, and I was borrowing my brother's car because my truck had been damaged during that point too. Um, so I was borrowing that and I was filling up for gas, and someone I was my one of my friend's fathers owned the business, the company that actually took me in. Um, so he came in to the gas pump next to me and was like, "Hey, how you been?" And I was like, "I'm pretty good." And my mom said, "Go talk to this guy," for months at that point. But I wasn't in a good place, obviously. And this dude showed up and was like, "Hey, how you been?" Da 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 da. We chatted it up, and he's like, "What you doing for work?" And I was like, "I'm actually looking for work right now." He had me come in that Monday, and I had a job.
Wow.
Even though like he drug tested me, and I was like, "I'm not gonna pass." Like, there's no way that I was smoking for that long and it's not still in my system. 3 months is not long enough for 2 years of smoking, you know? So I peed and it was like I just had smoked a blunt the weekend before.
Oh man.
And they still hired me. And I was like, dang, okay. I thought that was going to go south real quick,
So
but
you
I
got
haven't
hired
touched
on.
that stuff since. I'm still trying to quit my nicotine addiction. I haven't drank in months. I just don't find the pleasure in it unless I'm just going out to drink with friends.
I got you. So how did you end up leaving that job once you got it?
So what ended up happening is I was ready to propose to a girl,
Okay.
and she ended up leaving me for one of her coworkers, um, like a month out from me getting the wedding ring and moving out and getting everything set. And that really wrecked me emotionally again. And I'm fighting my way out of that place.
Hmm. Okay. And now you're back with family. Is that correct then?
Yeah, I've been living with family that whole time. I just traveled for work, so it wasn't as taxing as it is now, where I live in a room where I share my bedroom with a 2 year old.
Okay. I got you. I
Like,
got you.
that's my
Cool.
little brother.
Yeah, for sure. So why do we feel like online coaching is going to be the thing that we're really interested in how it's going to solve our problems? Like, what are we looking to get out of it?
So, right now, I see it as a side hustle pretty much.
Okay.
Online coaching would be the start of a business that I can independently run from the weekends or my free time. And since I have a bachelor's degree in health sciences, fitness, wellness, I have a lot of knowledge to give. I
Okay.
can do the research if I need to. And even though I haven't passed my exercise physiologist test yet, it's just one of those things. It's a matter of time simply because I am me, you know?
For
I'm going to
sure.
persevere through whatever I need to make sure I set my future up and set my 5 year plan into action.
Now, how long have you been thinking about this plan?
So my 5 year plan definitely changed after I broke up. I was looking for a job before I even left the job. I planned on leaving it anyway, but um, I tried to stay after the breakup because of everything going on, and that didn't work out. So, oh, now it's just like, okay, time to get on your feet and really figure out what will work for you. Who, especially using your degree, because it's been a year since I got my degree, and after that year point with a degree, it starts diminishing in value.
Hmm.
At least that's always been what I was told. And I'm like, I don't want to burn out my time on that. So as long as I can do something with my degree, I still volunteer as a coach, like a tumbling coach and stuff with that, like that around town, because obviously it's my joy. Like I have a passion for that stuff because it makes me happy. Um, Seeing kids learn new skills and learn the proper body movements and body mechanisms, especially because I'm a very, very big um, on physiology. So how the body moves.
I got you. Cool. So outside of that, what else are we looking for? Are we looking for like financial freedom, more flexibility? What is this?
Yeah.
All that?
So eventually I want the job to be literally um the financial freedom and flexibility to just, okay, hey, if I'm unhappy in the job I'm working at, I don't need it. I can just bounce and still be fine. I don't have to worry about the essentials: food, housing, bills.
Right. Yeah, to give you some context behind that, industry averages for online coaching, low end $300 per month for per client, up to $500 per month for a client. It could even be more depending on what we're charging or what we're offering in our unique angle. So let's just say on average, you're charging around $400 a client. Okay. So if you had, 25 clients, that would get you that 10K a month, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's really doable in a world full of billions of people. All we need is about 25 clients to really get you feeling we're in a financially good spot. Which brings me to my next question: what is your financial goals? What are we trying to start off making initially?
So starting off, I'd probably start off low. And I kind of do have that imposter syndrome
Okay.
from college where I don't think I'm qualified because all of this stuff comes common sense to me. Like your lower back hurts, okay, that's one of two things. Like you either are flexing your upper back too much, too often, and that's putting more stress on your lower back and that's hard, or your hamstrings are too tight. There's a couple other things that would have to do with health conditions, but like without previous history, that's where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
You're either stressing it too much or you're not stretching enough. And 90% of the time, it's not stretching enough. But with that is obviously the my goal is to start off low and then make it bigger.
Okay.
So if I get 2 clients to start off and I can keep in contact with them, let's say they pay in $300 for 3 months. And that 3 months, I'm writing them workout plans. They're giving me progress up reports, or it's so on and so forth, because I know the work you have to put in for this industry. Why I'm doing that, even over online, as long as they're staying motivated and doing the things they have to, I'm going to be able to continue. Sorry, there's a lot of bugs. I have to do this outside because
No,
kids are sleeping inside. That's why you're jostling around too much. So why that's happening, let's say I'm working a full-time job and doing that. It's easy for me to come in on a weekend and let's say you have a week of a progress report. There's usually not too much besides a couple little things if they're motivated to give them. Okay, today was your hypertrophy week. You did 3 sets of 10 at your 70%, or what was your 70%. So this next week, we're going to go back and find out. Let's try to find your maxes because you hypertrophied at your 70%. You're only supposed to be doing like 6 of those tops. So let's rearrange your workout now. Okay. Because the body also will get used to what you're doing.
Right, for sure. Cool. All right. So our goal, you mentioned like just a couple clients initially. As far as monetizing that? Are we looking, for, closer to, 2 clients at $300 a month? Gonna be about, let's see, my math is way off. So
Yeah.
300 times 2, that's $600. And if you had times that by 2, that's like an additional $1,200 a month. So, I mean, really to get you even your first 5 to 10 clients is pretty, you could probably do that in the first couple of months if we really prioritize this. So, we're talking about prioritizing. If we have like 10 to 20 hours per week, we're going to be in a solid spot. Do we feel like we have that, like to dictate?
10, 20 hours a week right now.
Yeah, that you'd be in a solid spot. Anything 20
Yeah.
hours or more, you'd be in a dangerously great spot.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. I could definitely put that forward right now, especially because I'm unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more questioning like the unknowns for me, because that's where my stress level comes from right now.
Okay.
That's where my confidence got hit really hard.
So the way our course is designed is there will be no unknowns. We're going to give you guidance. So you'll have a one-on-one coach. You also have a sales coach to help you like tie down those objections. But more importantly, you'll have modules you go through that are step-by-step. You don't move forward until you complete the first one. So you really grow as you go, which I'll show you in this presentation. But you have someone like really, very loosely speaking, holding your hand, making sure we're in the right spot, giving you a step-by-step game plan, making sure we're holding you accountable, and making sure that we're hitting our metrics in that time frame that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So you'll have a lot of support. You'll have group support calls as well. You'll have one-on-one coaching calls. You'll have a private sales coach. You'll have your normal coach for 4 whole months. So you have a lot of touch points. We even have mindset calls as well. So,
Okay.
starting your business, it's exciting, but it does get overwhelming. It gets tough, right? So we want to make sure that we're helping you through those areas, because your business is going to take a hit one of these days where it's going to start feeling overwhelming. No matter if you're hitting, 6 figures or 7 figures, you're going to feel it one of these days. And we want to make sure that we're in a good headspace to move forward. Does that kind of feel like what we're in alignment with?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I already know, like, if I get this to take off, that will build on to the fact that I still want to have a full-time job where I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could even drop down to a part-time job with benefits, but I want to keep benefits until I'm fully established and not worrying about the little logistics of like, what if I get sick and I have to pay for hospital stuff? Like,
yeah. So it sounds like initially you're looking for this job, whether it be, obviously we're hoping for a full-time job first, but until this coaching thing takes off, you're wanting to do this as a side hustle. Once it starts, generating more money, we can start reducing our hours at our job. And eventually, if it does this the right way, coach full-time. Is that correct?
Yeah. Coach full-time, have something else to keep a hobby in that also could make me money. And just really keep up just with people, because people are what makes the world go round.
For sure. So you want something that's going to provide you a lot of fulfillment, a lot of interaction, something you can really put your prints on.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Outside of that, outside of the imposter syndrome, what else could be a challenge that you could foresee getting this thing up and running?
I've never been like superiorly great with tech.
Okay.
I use an iPad for most of my stuff. I do want to eventually get my own like computer system, my own PC, not only for gaming, but like to be able to go through and check stock markets and start investing, stuff like that. And like with that comes, well, I have to have a place to settle down. I have to reach stability first to create more stability, and then I can spend more money to make more money.
Yep, 100%. So this is a pretty cool course because I'm definitely not technologically sound at all. So cool thing is, it's just a couple like a one-time setup on some of these systems, but once you get them set up, super easy to maneuver. The majority of the time, you're going to be really focusing the brunt of your work is going to be client engagement, lead generation, pumping out programming for people, really providing just different resources, stuff that you already do naturally that you enjoy doing. Cool. Outside of that, what do we feel like? Is this like our first steps? Is this the first thing we've tried to actually take this first step toward creating our own online business?
This is my first step to be in the field pretty much at all, other than my internship.
Okay, cool.
Um, Other than applying to jobs at gyms and stuff like that, where it just doesn't feel like I live in a small town, so it doesn't feel like my specialties, my degree, which is a bachelor's of science, is even valued here. There's not enough going on and around. They're looking for the people who have like, okay, you have 6 years of HR experience, you graduated high school, and you went through online training once a year to just get all this done.
I gotcha.
Where I went through 4 years of college degree, you do that online training with me once, and I could be the head of your HR department and actually travel.
Right, I gotcha. Cool. What do you feel like you need to be successful? Look for like a step-by-step game plan, accountability, resources. What do you need?
It would be a step-by-step game plan. Definitely some accountability there, and just some resources. But I definitely know I have some things in my life I have to sort out first. So getting into this program, even though I'm getting into this program right now and like talking about it now, because that's the right thing to do, because I have the time for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I might not start for another 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let
I
me ask
know
you.
that,
Oh,
but
go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to stay stagnant either. And that's why I'm like, I want accountability, because once I do start working and get on my feet, that's when I have to move. That's my time to move.
I gotcha. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like possibly waiting 3 to 6 months is going to bring you closer to your goals or take you further away?
So it's a dual-edged sword. Waiting that long, I guarantee I'm going to have my own job and the stability that I want to start my business.
Okay.
6 months is a little too far out. If I don't have a job by then, something's gone terribly wrong. But 3 months is the most I'm going to let myself, like, not even let myself, is the most I'm going to tolerate before I fully, like, if I had to wait 3 months and I was still looking for a job in Kingman, that's when I'd fully commit to this and like really start hard on the hustle.
I
Why?
gotcha.
There wouldn't be anything stopping me. There's not a barrier there. Like, at that point, it's all or nothing.
I gotcha. So let me help you reframe that a little bit. So I've been a master level trainer for 15 years. And I trained 40 people a week, 2 to 3 times a week at my prime. Okay. So I was working probably about 4:30 in the morning, about 8:30 at night, a couple weird odd times in the daytime where I had maybe an hour or two for free. Now, super busy. But in order for me to get the flexibility and the financial freedom that I wanted without having to trade my time for money, as like you mentioned earlier, I had to get resourceful with my time and I had to take action. So what I did was I'd pop in a module on the way to the gym, when I was doing cardio, on the way home, and then whatever I listened to, I would implement when I got home. My point of telling you all this is right now, you're in a decent spot to where you have the time to dictate without being stressed with starting a new job, right? So obviously we're hoping that you get a job interview coming up and that you become successful. But right now you don't have any other distractions outside of putting in a couple applications. So it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. You can really actually start building a solid foundation with your own business while you're waiting to get on with that job. So by the time you do have a job, you already have maybe 5 to 10 clients that you're servicing on a regular basis while providing that extra income. So I don't want you to think that if the job doesn't happen, then we're going to go back to this. I want you to think of like a natural leader. So
Okay.
best athletes, best entrepreneurs, you name it, they make quick decisions and they commit to that decision that they make because they're taking it based upon where they see themselves, not their current circumstances. Where the average American will make a decision based upon their current circumstance, which means they'll overthink, overanalyze, and not take action, which leads them to being stuck in that circumstance for a longer period of time. Okay, so let's think about this. The average individual that goes through our course at the end of 4 months is averaging between 6,500 to 8K per month. So think about that. If you waited 3 months, you could already be past that if you don't consider yourself an average individual, right? You got a college degree, you've been through some things, you've overcome some obstacles. Think where you could be in literally 2 months compared to just waiting and prolonging. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you in a situation where you're tired of being in that circumstance, tired of being depressed, or trying to figure out your next move versus following through on your actual purpose?
Yes, I am. Like, I'm living at home sharing a room with a 2-year-old. This is not where
Yeah,
this
it's
it wants to be. Like,
yeah, it's humbling, right?
yeah, and it definitely took a toll on my relationship too. Like, all of this plays into each other. Life plays into itself.
For sure. So that's exactly why I'm saying, like, hey, if this comes out to being everything that you need from like a mentorship, this is something that we can't afford not to take action on, because right now you have the time to dictate, you have the time to rebuild yourself and really figure out who you are on the online space, but more importantly, how to impact other people while making a really good living at it. Because it seems like you're a very intentional guy. It sounds like you're in it for the right reasons, because you like to help individuals, you like to see them grow, right? And you think about the fulfillment you'll get by helping people overcome those barriers, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, most definitely.
Cool. Now, how big of a priority is this for you to start your program?
Um, that's where I'm unsure. That's where I'm like, do I want to prioritize like financial stability, which this would do that for me, but I'm still like on the fence of how it all works.
Then
Because
we're
I
about
want
to
to be,
dive into,
yeah,
yeah,
I'd have to dive in where, or I, or do I want to have that background recourse of where I can just be able to, who, okay, I got off work, let's do a module.
I gotcha. So we're about to dive in. I'm going to show you exactly step by step on how we're going to do this. I'm going to show you how simplified it is, especially if you've already been through college. This is going to be nothing compared to that,
Okay.
right? Secondly, I don't want us to wait to see like, hey, I'll do this after work, because after you get home from a long day of work, that's probably going to be one of the last things you're really going to want to do, right? Whereas
Yeah.
right now we have the time to dictate it. We have intrinsic motivation. We're at home. You're sharing a room with your family. These are things that we take action on now, right? Cool. Now, where would you like to see yourself differently in the next 4 to 6 months than where you're currently in? I'm obviously assuming not sharing a room with your brother, right?
Yeah, I move out. I'd love to be able to reconnect with this girl, but that's not going to happen. That's nothing to do with any of this. But I want to be financially stable. I want to be able to start investing. So with having a stable income, having that money to make money, I'd be able to rent a house here easy. I mean, the average 3-bedroom house here is like $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And if I'm making $6,000 a month, yeah, I can toss that at that and still have money for bills or whatever else I want to do.
All right. So think about this. If you take action and you're already starting to get a return of investment within that first month, month and a half, right? You're building up your clientele, you're building a base foundation, and then you land a job on top of that. So you're even multiplying even more income. Think how much further along you'll be ahead. You'll have a nice cushion. And then as this continues to grow and magnify, then eventually we can step back from that traditional 9 to 5 and live life on your terms with more fulfillment, right? Because if you stick to the 9 to 5, you're limiting you're capping your potential, and you're capping your freedom and your earning potential.
Oh, of course, yeah. It just comes with benefits, and in the situation I'm at right now, benefits is important.
Oh, 100%. I totally get that. Now, you got to prioritize certain benefits, right? Because we will go over how to do the taxes and how to kind of like factor in those things for your income. However, the benefit of you building your own business versus building someone else's, you having the freedom to clock in when you want, when to travel when you want. You run things on your own terms versus asking permission to take a piss or go on a lunch break. You don't have to ask permission. You just do it,
Me,
right?
mama.
Huh?
Oh, my mom called, so I told her I was in a meeting.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Cool. Now, is your parents pretty supportive of what you got going on and what you're trying to do?
They're very nervous for me. They've watched me, I'm not going to lie, they've watched me lose it over these last couple months. Like, I definitely have done some things that I feel guilty and regrettable about. I definitely feel like this girl should never come back to me. But whatever God's will is, God's will is. And I got to do what got to do. I've made my mistakes. I need to move on.
Yeah.
I'm stuck because I'm unemployed. I'm kind of stuck in that instance of having to be like, well, yeah, this dude's the dude who kind of stepped out of his way, and it takes two, don't get me wrong, but is doing better than me right now. Like, the dude I was outperforming is now doing better than me because my emotional state at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gives me time to mow over that and think it. Like, no, I don't want that.
I gotcha. Cool. Let me kind of do a recap on what we got going on here. Okay. And then we're going to dive in. Is that cool?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, my man. So currently you've been unemployed for about a month and a half, but you've had numerous jobs. You really have a passion with gymnastics, tumbling, and really just coaching individuals. You still do that from time to time. Your last job, you were a quality control. You got a really good break from a family friend. We lost that because we had some relational issues that kind of sent us into a deep depression. So now we're kind of back home. We're really trying to restructure our life, figure out a solid game plan to move forward. Right now, the reason why we're on the call is this is going to start off as a side hustle while you're looking for, employment. If done the correct way, our employment will eventually go to part-time to where the main goal is you can coach full-time with individuals. Biggest challenge is imposter syndrome and some technological difficulties, really knowing where to start. But this is our first steps. You've applied at a few gyms. You just feel like, though, that your degree is just not getting the benefits it really deserves in the area that you live in. What we need is a step-by-step game plan, accountability, resources, just clear direction overall. And then within the next 4 to 6 months, you'd like to have complete financial stability, be able to move out, not have to share a room with your brother, be able to reconnect, reformulate several different relationships, just get in a better path. And more importantly, live your best life and know that you're being fulfilled. Is that about right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, obviously I'm goal oriented. And what's been bugging me the most is I want, in the future, I'm family oriented. I want to have my own family. I want to be able to support my own family. What are the steps? Where do I need to go to get that done? I don't know yet. But I see this as an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, let's dive into this opportunity. I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me know when you can see it. We'll party. Cool?
Got it.
All right. So as you know, for the Next Level Coaching Academy, we are accredited through the Better Business Bureau, which is a really big deal. We have an A+ rating. This solidifies who we are as a business and on the online space. If you happen to have a certification, we are backed by ACE, NASM, and ISSA, which is a big deal. They are the 3 biggest certification companies in the world right now. On the success ladder, we've got 2 tiers. We've got 10K Accelerator and we've got Mastery Level Coach. Now, 10K Accelerator is really going to be ideal for an individual such as yourself, someone who's looking to make a massive change, create some impact on the online space, and the information is geared to get you from 0 up to 10K per month in as little as 4 months. It also comes with an additional certification at no additional charge, so you do feel qualified, and we can start removing that imposter syndrome. Mastery Level will take place when you're hitting 10K a month on a consistent basis, but now maybe your focal point changes to now you're trying to hit 50 to 60 to 100K months, kind of stepping away from the coaching aspect, becoming more of a CEO of your own business.
Of course.
Cool. Our program is broken up into 4 phases. The first thing we want to do is show you how to get some clients right out the gate, then establish a solid business foundation by generating leads organically to maximize your overall reach on all 3 platforms. Then we're going to develop sales and client retention strategies to help you reach, sustain, and surpass that 10K per month. Now, on the support side of things, it's going to be second to none. You're going to have an assigned one-on-one coach all 4 months. You'll have a customized game planning call to really review where you're at, where you want to be, the most efficient way to get there. And then pending your needs, we'll either have weekly or bi-weekly coaching. It's an excellent opportunity to revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback, and get very specific instructions on what you need to execute on. They'll also provide resources. Now, this is going to be a game changer. You'll also be introduced to a sales coach once we complete all the sales modules. This individual will help you overcome those sales objections, get a larger return on investment by helping you close down calls at a 40% clip or greater. And then you'll have bi-weekly roster group coaching calls accompanied by 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate a 9 to 5. So this would go over client objection handling, client delivery, marketing, lead generation, mindset issues, even case studies. Okay?
Nice.
Bonus bi-weekly support calls with Chad, 24/5 tech support. So outside of all those game planning calls, you have access to your coach 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. They're contractually obligated to answer every single one of your questions. Okay. Now, starting your own business is exciting, but like I mentioned, it's tough. It's overwhelming at times. So we have created a Zenpreneur method. We help with weekly mindset calls, breath work, meditation, even journaling sessions to always ensure we get you in a good headspace to move forward within your business. Resources, you'll have the course curriculum, you'll have that Zenpreneur method. We'll also provide done-for-you programming, so it's either beginner, intermediate, advanced levels. It's just different templates with drop-down menus. You can plug and play as you see fit. We'll also give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific changes or enhancements. And we do also offer that optional certification at no additional charge. Any questions on that?
Nope, that all makes sense. And I kind of went over that on the first phone call too. So that's, you did give more detail on that, and I appreciate that because that did answer some of my questions I had originally on the call. So
I gotcha. As we continue to dive in, feel free to stop me if you need some more clarification on something, but you are going to see that we'll probably answer a ton of your questions, probably bounce around in your head as we go. Cool?
Yep.
All right. So the 4-phase system to get you to 10K, act first. That's what I'm trying to get you to do now. Launch your business, announce to the world who you are, what you're about, what message are you trying to convey to individuals. And then we'll also provide you specific strategies to get your first few clients right out the gate. Phase 2, setting up all of your back-end systems, making sure you're a fully legal company, identifying what problem you solve for individuals. And then based upon that, we can create our offer and pricing. Okay. Phase 3, we're really going to maximize the use of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We'll dive into podcasts and YouTube. We'll show you how to maximize WhatsApp community chat for more client engagement. And then we'll show you how to close down deals a little bit more efficiently. Phase 4, fine tuning, maximizing your sales skills, having consistent client delivery systems, but emphasizing the customer support and client retention to keep people happy for longer periods of time and enhance that user experience. Any questions on that?
So in the phase 2, so the streamlining in your admin system, is that going to be like, so at what point will I be starting to use other online resources or other company resources to start like fielding those calls and kind of like helping me out in being able to manage? And then on the online coaching side of things, where does it kind of start and end in the sense of how much? I know I'm going to be putting quite a bit of time in it at the beginning where I'm going to be the only one, but where do those more people come from necessarily?
Yep. So once we're hitting that 10K a month on a consistent basis, that's when we'll have a completely different conversation about entering mastery level. That's when we'll be talking about who to hire, when to hire, how to communicate with them, essentially at different phases of leadership, how we're going to dictate responsibilities to people so you can focus on the growth aspect and remove yourself from the day-to-day monotonous activities. Okay. So that'll be down the road once we're hitting 10K on a consistent basis. First phases are really all about making sure we're building a solid foundation. But as far as how to get you clients, when that starts on day 1, which we're actually going to dive into. Cool?
Sounds good.
So there's going to be a total of 35 modules. Each module has an overview link. It'll also be associated with videos. The link in the videos are tutorial style, so you'll know exactly what to do. Okay. First step to getting your first 1 to 10 clients, we're talking about strategy. Okay. We're going to give you multiple strategies to get your first couple clients. The resources we provide for you are already done for you, so we save more time. We're more efficient. The 10K Accelerator Directory, I want you to view this as onboarding material that'll help you become a better student, kind of like a college syllabus. Really shows you how to maximize the course. Okay. Now, the success roadmap is going to be a 2-part phase. What do we need to do to get you from 0 to 5K a month first? Then what do we need to do to get you from 5 to 10? So step-by-step strategies with videos and timelines based upon your goals. Now, based upon your goals, we want to implement daily and evening routines. We also know that fear of failure, anxiety, imposter syndrome, those are all natural, normal feelings. We just teach you how to move past that to move forward with your overall business. Okay. We've also identified the top 10 struggles you'll face as a fitness entrepreneur. We've provided solutions behind each and every one of these as well. Now, the question you're talking about, systems, starts right here with administration systems and Chat GPT. So we're going to show you how to maximize Chat GPT to make your job a little bit more efficient, what prompts to utilize it to create SOPs, content creation ideas, even streamline your nutrition and programming, backend systems, Wave and Stripe for payments, DocuSign for client agreements, Typeform and Calendly for people to be able to apply for your services or book calls. We have applications we suggest such as TrueCoach or Trainerize to upload all of your programming, all of your nutrition, make it more customizable for your clients. Now, every module will have what they call an overview document. So off to the right is going to be all the videos that are associated with this module. And then below here is going to be your written material. So when you click on this, this will save your Google Docs and you'll always have access. So check this out. As you can see, this covers the entire module in written format, step by step. So as long as you know how to read and follow instructions, you're in a good spot, all right? Now, if you are a visual learner, let's pretend that you're going to set up Wave for payments. You click on whatever video that you want to view, and then you're just going to hit play.
And it takes you through it?
Huh?
And it takes you through it?
Yep, it literally goes, click here, enter this. It gets no easier. It's like having an open book test with the answers circled and highlighted in red. So if you can't find the answers, we've got problems, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to do the same thing for your financial systems as well. So we're going to show you how to set up your LLC, get your employment identification number, how and when to open up a business bank account, how to track what's coming in and out of your business, when to pay quarterly taxes, when to pay yourself, examples of business write-offs. And then we also cover all of your like insurances and stuff like that. So all of your business legalities are covered through here. Okay. Now, if you file your LLC the traditional way, it takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks. We are partnered with an AI company where it takes like 2 to 3 hours. So we're more efficient and get done a lot faster. And it's streamlined through a lawyer as well. Target setting, we'll create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. And then from there, we're going to identify your ideal challenge or what problem you solve for individuals. Based upon that, we can create your offer and pricing. So is this going to be a more do it for you, do it with you, or do it yourself program? The more that you do for individuals, the higher the ticket offer. That high ticket offer is established upon your overall length of terms. So we help create that unique angle, create that structure, and teach you how to create downsells and discounts when applicable. Any questions on that?
So, even just starting off right now, you said immediately out of the gate, we're going to be trying to get clients out of the gate. What's the necessary things to do with that, especially with me not having a certification yet?
Yep. So first of all, what I suggest is while we're getting you clients, I don't want you to spend your whole time getting a certification, but we offer that free optional one. It's equal parts fitness, equal parts nutrition. A guy like you that's been through college and has a great degree, it'll take you maybe a week and a half. Okay. But it'll teach you how to create a healthy plate, whether that's going to be for someone trying to lose weight or gain muscle. We'll talk about intuitive eating. We'll talk about foods that reduce inflammation. And then on the workout side of things, program variables, program design, the art of coaching. And then there'll be a final test. The test is 77 questions long. Got to get an 80% or better. It's open book. It's not timed. You can take it as many times as you like. Once you pass, you get your online certification. So one, we're going to have you working through that certification while doing these specific strategies that we talked about in phase 1. Okay. Yeah. So there's a number of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Did that answer your question for you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Next part of this is going to be all social media. So we're going to show you how to do 1 hour's worth of work, get 7 to 14 different pieces of content created by utilizing some AI software. Now that we have that content created, we want to push it through all these platforms. So we're going to show you how to set up a podcast and a YouTube. We want more people to know who you are, what you're about, what you've been through, the message that you're trying to convey. We want people to really feel like they can resonate with your story. Okay. And then from there, we're going to show you how to market for all things Instagram, Facebook, TikTok related. So it's more than just randomly posting. There's very specific strategies and resources behind every one of these platforms, from page aesthetics to hashtag use to page organization, call to actions, real stories, any intricate detail you can think of on any platform we cover in depth. Okay. Now, as far as content creation made easy, this is like cool editing features. We'll introduce you to Canva Basic, Canva Pro, Microsoft Designer. Again, helps with page aesthetics and page organization. And then we move into the 10K lead generation framework. The first of which is what we call earned media. I want you to think of this as like inbound marketing or people coming specifically to you. So we'll show you strategies and resources to entice people to want to reach out to you. Okay. So as an example, cross-pollination, maybe you're partnered with another tumbling coach or a strength coach from across the country. Their audience gets to see who you are and vice versa. So now we have more followers, we have more lead engagement, which means we can pump out free resources to those individuals, build trust, build that relationship, which could lead to a scholarship strategy, which incentivizes people to take action, kind of build some urgency. Opposite into that is what we call conversation to calls. This is outbound marketing. This is you reaching out to individuals via your local network or within your social media. So we'll give you specific scripts you can change based upon your own tonality. We'll give you conversation to call examples, but more importantly, we show you exactly where to find all these leads on all three platforms, how to build and nurture those relationships.
Yeah.
From there, we'll dive into the very beginning stages of how to run ads. So a very inexpensive way to build massive momentum, which will then lead to referral strategy. Friends, families, coworkers, ex-clients talking about how amazing you are. We'll show you strategies and different incentives to get them to want to bring you referrals without you actually having to ask. So it kind of comes on autopilot. Any questions on that?
No, that pretty much seems like step by step. I wasn't sure where each one would fall into play, but that kind of puts it in order for me.
Yeah, 100%. So however these modules are laid out, that's a specific order for you. So it's not where you're getting a bunch of resources and then you're trying to figure it out or implement. You're implementing as you go and you don't move forward until you've implemented the one in front of it. Does that make sense? Cool. Last part of this is going to be all sales. We're going to teach you the sales psychology and how to maximize your sales capabilities to really set up two types of phone calls. Okay. So the first phone call that we're going to set up is a meet and greet. It's like a 10-minute screening call. You're trying to identify, do I want to work with this person? Can I solve their problem? If that's someone you do want to work with, we take them to the closing call. This is where we're trying to lock them in as a lead. We'll give you specific scripts. We'll teach you how to create downsells and discounts. This will be massive. Understanding how to create financing options for people who normally couldn't afford it, and then how to lock them in and set up standards and expectations. Whether you lock them in or not, we want to go back and we want to track all this. We want to track how many calls were booked, how many showed, how many closed, and at what length of term. So we give you our resources to track this more efficiently so you have predictable data every single month. Objection handling, this is going to be all the excuses someone's going to give to you as to why they cannot start your program. We give you over 30 different examples. The more you can get familiar with these, the easier it is to overcome those objections, get them to want to start sooner rather than later. From there, we'll move into onboarding process. First 30 days in your program, this will make or break if people want to continue with you. We want to make sure energy is high, buyer's remorse is low, getting them resources within that first 24 to 48 hours, really establishing a relationship and keeping them occupied, which will lead into the client delivery. Week-to-week process and how you deliver those services. We just show you how to do it a little bit more efficiently. We'll also show you how to track client success metrics to ensure they're getting world-class results, and then really how to paint that picture on how we're going to get them to their goals. And then this will happen to you no matter how good of a coach you are. Someone's going to ghost you. Someone's going to quit. Someone's not going to listen. It's inevitable. We just show you what to do when that happens and how to handle it if they've already paid for services. Usually those individuals want to feel like they're part of a larger community, so we show you how to create that. We'll also show you how to create more individualized touch points, challenges, and incentives to get them to want to execute on a more consistent basis for you. Customer support, how do we deal with cancellations, refund requests? What if someone needs to pause services? How do we handle that? And then lastly, client retention. We want to keep people in your program for long periods of time and advance them to higher levels of your programming. All right. Any questions on all that? That was a lot.
Yeah.
Quick little recap. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's go back to the very start because that's where I pulled information from the first part or the last part. So let's go back to the very first steps that you were saying we need to take here, which is onboarding for me, like commitment and getting started.
Yep. So are you talking about for once you get your first, how to get your first couple clients?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's when it says how to get your first few clients. That's exactly what you're going to do. So there's going to give you specific reasons as to which ones to go with first. Okay. So this will break down everything that you need. All right. And then also how to get certified as well. So that's going to be step one, going through all these different options here. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't go over through each and individual one because that's the whole point of invest. You know what I'm saying? Invest in the course.
That completely nullifies your point of that.
For sure.
Even though I have that convincing quality, I don't think you want to do that.
Right, for sure, for sure. So one, we're going to help. Our goal first is to help you get some clients right out the gate, right? We'd rather have you be consumed like with overwhelming success versus not having nothing at all and being like anxiety. Like, where's these people going to come from? So we're going to help you get your first couple clients. Okay. Then now that we have some paying clients, we want to actually set up your back end system. So that way we can like take payments. We have it on a subscription type of thing, right? We have all of your DocuSign. We had to be able to sign client agreements. We need to be able to onboard people correctly. But more importantly, we also need to have the right mindset. We have to have an understanding of what your goals are. That's how we do all those things. Okay.
Yeah. My one question is, I haven't been in the gym for a minute, obviously. I am in decent shape, but I'm not like looking like a trainer.
Okay.
Like, I'm not looking like a trainer. My arms are small, my legs are small. I know that has an effect on clientele, on at least in the area of getting those first couple clients and having them be reassured in you.
So I would say no. You would think that people want to know that they can resonate with you. All right. So yes, that's like your body's your business card to an extent.
Yeah.
But most people that are getting like massive success, it's not because their physicalities, it's because they're able to have relatable connections. So if you're really good with communication, and say, for instance, give you an example who I cater to. So my primary demographic is men 35 to 50 years old that are high level executives. The reason I chose that is because at 35 to 50, you're pretty much set in your career or you're financially set, right? And two, those individuals have certain pain points. So 35 to 50, they're high level executives. They're either traveling all the time, have poor eating habits, don't have time to work out. And if they have a wife and kids, they're rarely home. So if you're rarely home with your wife, that leads to resentment. So for men, for us to feel valued, we need money, power, and sex. You take one of those three things away, we've got major problems, right? So yeah. I talk about pain points. So if you were 35 to 50 and you see some of my posts and you're like, man, I got that problem. He's talking about me. You want to reach out to me because I have a solution to your problem. It's not because of a six pack or bulging biceps, right? Now, some of my videos do have different intensity techniques that I've provided examples for, so that will draw in other type of athletes. But my primary focus is for people that have those specific pain points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So a lot of our clients that sign on with us, that are students, they don't look ripped at all. And you'd be surprised. Some of these people are killing it because they're so good with communicating and understanding and being empathetic and patient. That's what it takes.
Okay.
Does that give you a little bit more confidence?
That helps a lot, yeah.
Cool. What other questions you got for me?
I'm trying to not so I'm purposely trying to keep my questions depicted towards myself and not towards the course, because if I keep asking about the course, obviously I'm going to eventually get into one of those roles where I need to figure out what I need to do within the course, or more or less, or what might be a struggle point within the course.
Yep. So you had mentioned the struggle is a lot of people just don't know where to start. That's what we're helping with. So as mentioned, all these things are literally in specific order. So as long as you can follow instructions, follow a cadence and a checklist, you're going to be solid. Plus, you're going to have that coaching that's going to be telling you what you need to focus on each week.
Yeah. And, I guess I should really ask this one. What's the price range to start this?
Yeah. So that's what we're about to dive into. That's probably one of my favorite areas to discuss. Because if this is something that you really find as a priority to create impact for others, but more importantly, to get yourself back on your feet and build that confidence, dude, the sweetest revenge when you go through a breakup is someone seeing you being fully healed and you just don't care anymore. That's like the sweetest revenge, right? You're doing your own thing. You're living your purpose. You're not focused on anyone else but self-growth. That's a huge thing, right? So we're actually about to dive into that. Before I do, I just kind of want to go over a couple things with you. This is going to kind of be to determine the price. So we have a weekly option and we have a bi-weekly option. So weekly options are great because they're limited, but it allows us to have coaching every single week, which means we have a set of eyes on you at all points and times. There's going to be flaws in our systems. We're able to catch you a little faster. Bi-weekly is good if maybe you're a type A person, you're really good with following instructions. You'd be having coaching every 2 weeks versus every week. It's also good for individuals that might be in a financial stronghold. It's a little bit cheaper. Okay. Out of those two, which do you think works best for you?
So I'm not in a financial stronghold.
Okay.
I be using my savings,
Okay.
which I do have quite a bit, but at the same time, I don't have a job. So that's a nervous point for me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So knowing how much each option would be, I know I work better when I do that one-on-one type deal. So, okay, let's get this done type deal. Oh, walk me through it. I do better with that. So I'd be looking closer, regardless whether I had a financial stronghold or not. I'd be looking at that weekly option more highly valued.
I like that you're being honest with yourself, because when you're starting a brand new business, and this is brand new, right? There's a lot of intricate details that go into it. We want to make sure we're doing it right. And we want to make sure, literally, we have the right people holding our hands throughout the course. Now, when I say hand holding very loosely, we're going to guide you, show you exactly what to do, but there's going to be a lot of execution you have to do on those times that you're not with us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now, I just want to share a couple testimonials with you. I think you'll really be able to resonate with. So this is Karina. Karina was making about $2K a month prior to being with us. Her goal was she wanted financial freedom. She wanted flexibility. She wanted travel. Those are all things that you mentioned that you really liked, right? So she started NLCA. This first tattoo indicates when she started NLCA. Bottom tattoo indicates when she quit her job. So she's able to quit her job in under 4 months. At 6 months, she was collecting 10 to 12K a month on a regular basis. She's now making 15K a month and works about 40 hours a week. So she's a one-woman show, traveling, living her best life, okay? Now, the next person I want to share with you, there's no income cap on this. So this is Jen Richards. She's an IFBB pro. This is her husband, Darren. She was a physician's assistant. Her goal is she wanted to quit her job and coach full-time. She came to us in 2021. We took her past 10K all the way past 100K per month. Last month alone, she collected 150K. So she has that staff size of 12. So you ask, what do I do when I'm starting to get to the point where I'm getting a lot of income coming in? She has a staff size of 12. So she has like affiliates with First Form. She has different branding. She has different affiliates. So that's where we can kind of put on the bells and the whistles, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As far as averages go, man, I mentioned this one earlier. 73% of our students sign their client month one. On average, it takes them 1 week to do so. Okay. So at the end of 4 months, 6,500 to 8K is what the average individual is bringing in. Okay. 8K, that's 96,000. Not too bad to be average, right?
Yeah.
Cool. People are able to quit their jobs an average of 10.6 weeks to go full time. So just over 2.5 months. Other students who do hit a 10K month, it takes them 13 weeks on average. So think about that. Just over 90 days, you could be in a completely different tax bracket, moved out of parents' house, living your best. Long-term vision. People that stay with us for 12 months have 97 clients on their roster. Those individuals, 97 clients, are averaging about $366,000 a year. Now, 97 clients, you're no longer a one-man show. You're probably got a team underneath you, right? 30 to 60, you can probably handle on your own. After that, it gets a little bit overwhelming. And our programs get a score of 4.6 out of 5. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay, last thing that I really want to dive into that I want to go over is going to give you even more confidence. A lot of companies have a money-back guarantee. We have a 2.5 times your investment guarantee, or you get 100% refund. So essentially, as long as you attend your game planning call, which is pretty standard, 10 of your one-on-one coaching calls, which is 4 per month for you if you're going to be doing a weekly, 1 group support call each week, charge at least the bare minimum suggested price of $250 or more for services, run a scholarship program within the first 90 days, which is only going to get you clients. Don't spend longer than 2 weeks on the optional certification. And as long as you don't have any late payments, you complete the course to 100% capabilities, you will 2.5 times your investment, or you get 100% refund. Year to date, we've helped nearly 3,000 students. We've only had to return 1.6%. That's a 98.4% success rate.
Okay, so what is that first month price?
The first month price?
So for the weekly option of the coaching and help, getting things done, with that first month, how much does that usually cost your students?
Oh, are you talking about like what they would do for like down payments?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go into that. Let's do that. Let me share my screen with you really quick, and we're going to dive in. We'll get down to the nitty gritty. This man says, I'm ready to go. Let's get to the point. It's only $100,000 in your left kidney. No, I'm playing, man. I'm just playing.
Don't even have a quarter of that. And I gave my left kidney.
You say what?
And I gave my left kidney to the last job.
Oh man, right. Okay, so there's a payment plan of 10,000, a paid in full of 8,497. That saves you $1,500. Now, out of those two, ideally, which one works best for you?
Um, I technically could do the paid in full, but
Okay.
I once again, that scares me. That's half my life savings right now.
Okay. So how about this? If you're looking at wanting to save the most coin, what if we just did half of that? So I do for you, I would put down, we could turn that into that paid in full into a split payment. So we could do half down today, half done, the other half due in 60 days. That gives you time to build your business, start getting momentum. Also allows you to start applying for other jobs as well. So you're building up a financial nest egg. How about that?
That's where it's such a hard decision because I want to be making money in order to put that money down.
Sure. So in order for you to make money, you have to take action. So if you start a new job, it's going to take you roughly, let's just pretend that you had a job and let's just say 2 months. Okay, let's just say that. So that's 60 days. And then you really won't get that type of money that you're looking for another month or two. So now that's almost 3 to 4 months that you really are going without any type of pay. Okay. Now you go into coaching within your first, again, the average individual is getting their first client in week 1. Think where you could be in 3 to 4 months. You could easily have that 5 to 10 clients that you're looking for. It's already starting to pay back the course. More importantly, you have started to learn how to build your own business because as you grow and as you get older, your business model might change multiple times, but at least you have a substantial business already created. You've already started generating money. So by the time you actually do start that other job, you already have income coming in.
I have to go in and put you on the charger, but here's where my concern comes in. One thing out of all of this, and you even said I'm very honest, is the one thing I do have trouble with is time management. That's a huge thing for running a business. Time management, you have to be timely. Got to deliver on. So when I do things for myself, I tend to have time management issues.
So with you having weekly coaching, that's the whole point of that's the reason why I really applauded you for saying you need weekly coaching because they're going to be, you mentioned you needed accountability and guidance. That's the whole point of why you're going to have weekly coaching. So we're not going to add anything additional onto your plate. We're trying to manage the time that you do have available to maximize your overall potential. Okay. So you and your coach will go over what your day-to-day looks like, how we can fit these things in so you still have time to do other things as well that's a priority to you. Right. But if you're looking to change your life and change other people's lives, this is how you go about doing it. Yes, you go work a 9 to 5 and you could be comfortable getting, benefits. However, will you feel fulfilled and will that get you out of financial stronghold? Probably not. Right. So again, the average individual is making between 6,500 on the low end up to 8K, as an average. 96,000 in literally 4 to 6 months. Versus you having to work several years to get those type of promotions to even come close to that. And you're working for yourself, not for someone else. You're building your dreams.
Okay.
We're talking about generational wealth. You mentioned earlier that you want to get ready for a family down the road. This is how you can create your own business. You can pass this down to your kids. You can start creating generational wealth.
Yeah. Can I think about this for 1 week?
Dude, you can think about it all you want. What I would tell you is the more that you think about it, you're going to find more reasons not to do it versus reasons to do it. What I suggest you do, worst case scenario, I got a suggestion for you. I think it's going to help you out. Are you open to hearing it?
Yeah.
So we have this called 12-month financing through us. So it doesn't pull on your credit at all. Okay. But what we can do is we can spread out those payments over 12 months. Now, this is the kicker. There's a little bit of interest up front because it's an extended payment plan. Okay. However, if paid off within 4 months, which is your enrollment term, we honored the 10K. Okay. If you pay off in 60 days, we honored the paid in full amount, which means you'd save the $1,500. So to get going today would literally just be $1,000 to get going, and it'd be $1,000 for 12 months. If you paid off again in 4 months, we honor the 10K paid off in 60 days. So what I'm saying is, There's not a huge risk. You're not putting down a whole lot of money, but you're holding yourself accountable and actually taking action. Today is that point in your life to where you have the opportunity to start doing something for yourself. This is part of your healing process, but more importantly, this is part of your testimony that you're going to get to share with other people of what you went through. The longer you prohibit this, the longer that you put this off, not only are you holding yourself a consequence, but you're also holding out on other individuals that are waiting for your program to be released, people to hear your story of what you went through and how you healed and how you surpassed that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a couple days to think about this one.
Okay, so let's take a pause. Let's take it off. Let's talk moving forward off the table. Let's just talk just me and you now. Do we feel like there's 100% alignment with what you're looking for from a coaching mentorship?
Yes, it's the foot of the bill.
Right. So the only thing that's holding you back is the finances.
Like, it does give a step-by-step process. It does seem logical to me. I just need to figure out, am I ready to take that risk? And am I willing to take that risk at this point?
No, I totally get that. Let me ask you this question to follow up with that. Are you willing to settle for your current circumstances longer? You know what? I want you to ask this, Jordan. If you didn't move forward, what would life look like in the next 6 to 12 months if you're not living out purpose? Maybe you do get a job in the next few months. Do you really think that's going to satisfy you?
Well, the reason I'm hesitant is because I know I have at least one job lined up right now that is possibly starting within the next 2-3 weeks. So with that in mind, if I can already make some money to then put into the things I want to do and already find myself being successful, that drives me to be more successful. And that's why I'm really adamant on having a job first, because then even if I falter and like fail myself in one area, I still have a safety net in another.
I get you. So if you don't move forward and you still get the job, you don't have a safety net because you haven't started. You actually put yourself further behind the 8 ball. So now you have 2 to 3 weeks to actually build something that's substantial. You can have all your foundations laid out. So now it's kind of like when you go to the gym. It's called progressive overload. Small, steady changes to get to where you want to be, right? So essentially, you're putting yourself through progressive overload. Now you get a job, and let's say you're successful at that job. You're going to be distracted on you actually wanting to coach, because now you're going to figure out, well, I'm successful in this. Do I really need to coach? Right? So temporarily,
coaching is my goal. I'm not giving up on that.
So
that's
coaching,
what I'm saying. I just want to have a stable background before I start.
That's how you get
right now I have no safety net. I don't want to risk that. So I want to guarantee I'll come back and have another call with you. That's actually, he sounds like a plan for me, but could I do that call in maybe 2 weeks or a week, and we'll see where I'm at that point? Because if I do have a job, that puts me in the position to say, okay, I'm instantly going in because I have a safety net at that point. And if I don't have a job, that possibly puts me at a high risk, high reward situation.
Cool. So for a guarantee, you have a 2.5 times guarantee. All you got to do is show up and do the work. That's it. It's already laid out for you. You have a college degree, bro. So if you mentioned that coaching is something you're definitely going to do no matter what, worst case scenario, we could at least do the in-house. We could do a delayed start, which means a small down payment. We can actually delay your start date for 2 months if that's what you really want to do. But at least you've held yourself accountable. You do have that safety net. You haven't. Also, if you saw that weekly coaching, there's limited spots. So you hold yourself a roster spot for the weekly coaching, and then your beginning would actually take place the day that you actually want to start. So let's pretend that you want to start December 1. That would be your first day of your 4 months.
I'm more saying I'd want to buy in probably around January. That's where I kick off the ball.
Okay.
So because that guarantees I know I have a job, I have the stability, I will, I'm telling you, I will pull trigger and buy in then. But I don't want to risk the current savings I have to then possibly fail myself because of my mental state.
No, I got you. So that, and I agree with you. So this is what I'm saying. I don't want you to risk your savings. I'm saying we do a small portion, 1/10 of that, and lock you in, and then have a delayed start date. So you're not continuously paying. We're just locking you in until you actually feel like you're ready. Right now, you've got nothing but time on your hands, so you're able to dictate more hours to this versus when you actually do get a job.
Yes, but because I have more time in it, it's when you have all the time in the world for something, you tend to put it off whenever you feel like it. So there's no kind of burn there. And I tend to do that a lot. I have all the time in the world to do that. I don't have to worry about it right now. That's when people become stagnant. And that's where I know I become stagnant.
Do you think that you'd be stagnant knowing you're sharing a room with your brother?
That's what's happening right now. That's legitimately what's happening right now. I keep on pushing forward. And obviously, I came on this call because I'm interested and I want to do something like this. And I know I need the help. I'm saying I can't buy in right now because of I know myself. I can't buy in right now. If I pay that $1,000 right now, start classes, I'd probably get 3 days in, be like, I'm tired of this. It's regardless of whether I was enjoying it or not. I get 3 days in, be like, I'm tired of this. And then, or even a month in, be like, I'm tired of this, but it makes me money, and then be looking for something else.
Cool.
So
we will.
I'm a person who I can stick it out through struggle, but once times get easy, that's when I need to find another challenge. Right now, times are easy in the sense of I don't have to worry about my finances, is because my parents are covering me right now and stuff like that. I need to make it a struggle where I am forced to have a mental state of I have this going for me. Now I have to work towards my goals because that's what I need to do. I need to find that balance. That's the requirement I'm putting on myself right now. Because otherwise, I know myself pretty well. And I know the wording you use too, which is good business. It's if I put in the work and I still don't end up being successful, it's a money back guarantee if I don't make it double. Well, what I'm seeing is I am very much the person who would buy in, start working towards it, slowly fall off. So I'm not doing the work anymore and I lose that portion of money. Now, if I'm working, because I know I'm willing to lose a certain percentage of my savings. I already am putting it into my truck, putting it into certain job application sites, stuff like that. So right now it is very easy for me to stay stagnant. And I have something that makes me want to move forward, which is the job prospect I have currently. And then once I get into that job prospect, I guarantee I will get tired of it and I'll be right back here on this call with you. That's when I'll buy it.
Okay. So I have a question for you. Yeah, I got a question for you. Now, we're not moving forward. So I want to reassure you that we're not moving forward. So it's not about that.
Yeah.
Earlier, we mentioned that you had numerous jobs and then you would leave them sporadically. So how do you feel this way is going to be any different? Because you mentioned you're going to start a program, maybe in a month or two, you're going to realize I'm going to slowly fall off. This is going to be extremely hard work as well to run your business. So what's going to be the difference between not doing it now, and then going to a job, realizing that you eventually want to quit that? Because right now we've been quitting a lot of different jobs, right?
Because right now, so I know how to hold a job. I can hold my job for a year, whatever, as long as nothing major happens. Like I was in the job for a year before I lost my fingers. Then I hit heavy depression. I was in my job for a year, then I hit heavy depression. So, I need to find a way to break that cycle for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I'm going to do, right now, I'm hitting my 6 month plan, basically. So, my 6 month plan starts with my 3 month plan, which my 3 month plan is get that job.
Mm-hmm.
And my time is running out, but I have something lined up right now. Seems to be like to me that it's going to work out. I'm going to have to put in heavy work at first, then it's going to lighten up. Once it lightens up, I'm going to need something to continue focusing on myself. So that's where you come in.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I continue working for myself. I don't focus on girls. I don't focus on friends. I'm going to hit the grind.
Gotcha.
I'm just about 25. I know who I need to be. So I'm just like, because of our conversation today, which was highly informative and very helpful. Beyond so, actually, you don't know actually how much you helped me. Put it that way. But I will be back.
Cool, man. Well, what I'll do is go ahead.
So don't take me off the call list, because I will be back, and literally hit me up once a month.
I got you. I'll do that.
Once I'm ready, I'm literally gonna be, let's go. And you'll be getting that sent over, because this seems like a great opportunity for me. And literally, like, I went inside to charge the iPad for like 3 seconds, and my mom's just shaking her head the whole time. Like, nah, this is for me. I'm going to make my own decisions. I'm not letting anyone else do that for me. So, yeah. But I do have to do the prolonged thing. So I know, like, my parents did teach me to be smart. And so I'm taking the most accurately smart decision for me at this moment.
Okay, that's fair. So what I'll do, man, is I will make sure that I reach out to you. I'm probably going to reach out to you here in the next couple weeks to see how that job went, how the last interview went, see if you got lined up with that. And then we'll just kind of touch base, and every month I'll kind of send you over a resource or something for you to kind of check out on your free time, and you can always implement that. And then we'll just game plan from there. Is that cool?
Of course. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, well, you got my number. If anything changes or you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out, okay?
Of course.
All right, my man. You have a great night, brother.
I appreciate your time, and I didn't waste it, I promise.
No, it's never a waste, man. You had to see what we're all about. We need to make sure we're in alignment. It's all good, brother.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got it, my man. Talk to you later.